With road work set to begin in just a year, you won't even be able to use the bridge here on Old Taylor Road. Instead, you'll have to use an access road from the Whirlpool plant to Coliseum Drive to get to campus. Because of the rescheduled hearing, Dutchke will be held here at the Lafayette County Detention Center until Thursday's rescheduled preliminary hearing at 9 a.m. One Ole Miss rebel and his family are taking a leap of faith to achieve a lifelong dream. Stay tuned to find out. It was just a few hours ago when reports of riots and protests on the Ole Miss campus overtook social media, just a few moments after hearing the results of the 2012 presidential election. With such easy access, you'll be able to get to where you need to go in half the time. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Sid Williams. The entire city of Boston is on high alert, as well as Washington, D.C. and New York City. Nearly 60 Mississippians, including recent Biggest Loser champion Patrick House, ran in the marathon today. We spoke with former Ole Miss student and Boston resident Bob Lynch about the current atmosphere in Boston. With the installation of roundabouts on one of Oxford's busiest roads, traffic flow is both better and safer. Before the additions, however, the intersection of Highway 6 and South Lamar Boulevard had its share of bumps in the road. The initial structure, shown in red, had drivers collectively losing over $800,000 annually between wasting gas and crash costs. The current structure, shown in blue, cost over $1 million to build, but has cut crash and fuel costs by more than 50%. These were benefits the mayor of Oxford says he didn't foresee.
I was a doubter. I didn't know that we would, that they would help. They have been a tremendous boost to traffic control in this community.
Now residents say the city should give roundabouts another go.
I was shocked that it took us so long to get roundabouts. It's definitely the thing to do on Old Taylor Road.
Traffic is still bumper to bumper on Old Taylor, a direct and busy route for students traveling to campus. One commuter wonders why, after the successful improvements on South Lamar, the city has proceeded with caution when it comes to adding roundabouts here.
Traffic cuts time, and it's taking too much class time and stuff. Like to get to class, definitely, yeah. So someone needs to definitely do something about it.
And something will be done. After disputes between the city of Oxford and the university on funding, the Mississippi Department of Transportation has decided to fully pay for the project, and Ole Miss is excited for the larger transformation coming to Old Taylor.
Even a two-lane roundabout has proven to be a real help in reducing accidents as well as keeping the traffic flowing. So a four-lane roundabout, I'm interested to see how a four-lane roundabout will work.
And in this digital projection, you can see how the $20 million project will four-lane to the entrance of the new Baptist Hospital. Construction is set to begin in October, only getting worse in the summer of 2014. You won't even be able to use the bridge here on Old Taylor Road. Instead, you'll have to use an access road from the Whirlpool plant to Coliseum Drive to get to campus. The project's expected to end before the 2014 school year begins. MDOT is aware of the implications if the project takes longer than expected.
This is a really complicated project on Old Taylor Road. It's, MDOT knows they've got to have this ready. If they run 2 weeks late, we're at the end of August with this thing, and it stands to be a catastrophe. So everybody's on notice that we got to get this thing done.
Get it done and make the Oxford commute faster and safer. For Newswatch, I'm Sid Williams.
Sam, you're up. I am. You're up.
Ole Miss sophomore Sam Kendricks has the best pole vault by an NCAA athlete since 1998, making him the SEC Men's Field Athlete of the Week. But this dream began long before college.
Honestly, when I first started pole vaulting, my dream by the end of my high school was to break my school record of 13 feet 6 inches. And I was just pole vaulting from my high school. So I broke my school record in the 10th grade. And we're like, where do we go from here? And we came to Ole Miss, set our eyes higher. So we go to Texas relays, we jump high. I always say we because I never do anything without my coach Kendricks.
For Sam, the bar keeps getting higher and higher, but it's the coach behind the athlete that's helping Sam to reach heights that he never even dreamed of.
Been proud of Sam ever since he was this big jumping because he's always practiced triple any other athlete that I've ever coached in the event. A lot of successful pole vaulters are actually coaches' kids. Each milestone, I remember when he jumped 13 feet, that was a milestone, and then 14 feet, that was a milestone, and then 15, 16, 17, 18, and now the latest milestone, and I thought it would take him several more years to get to 19, but he outsmarted me once again.
At the end of the season, Sam and Coach K will go to Iowa for the USA Championship, where the top 3 vaulters will advance to the World Games. But win or lose, the sophomore is just happy to be a Rebel.
It's not a job. It's not an occupation. It's something I feel privileged to come out here and do every day for Ole Miss.
And Ole Miss is proud to watch him soar. For Newswatch, I'm Sid Williams. Both local and national media gathered in Oxford today to cover the first court hearing of the second man arrested for sending letters containing ricin to President Barack Obama, Senator Roger Wicker, and Judge Sadie Holland. Some Oxford businesses say that the national attention at the federal courthouse is good for tourism.
The Oxford is not really being bad. You know, we're not being portrayed in a bad light, and it's actually, I joked with somebody that it actually might be good for tourism because all the reporters are coming in from out of town and eating at the restaurants and staying at the hotels. So learning about Oxford, and while they're here, they may be developing other stories.
Just days after releasing Paul Kevin Curtis, an Elvis impersonator from Corinth, Mississippi, federal authorities arrested J. Everett Dutschke, who investigators are linking to Curtis, possibly having framed him with the ricin felony. Though national media did their best to get the scoop on Dutschke today, right across the street from the courthouse, the Oxford Eagle has continued to follow the hearings. The small staff does the best they can to cover the big picture.
It's very hard for us to say, okay, just spend all your time covering this story, because there's still all the other stories, especially with Double Decker coming up. You know, I had to deal with that as well. You see all this commotion going on across the street. You see all the cameras, and you want to be a part of it.
The media waited in vain, however, after the 8-minute hearing was then postponed until this Thursday, because Dutschke's attorney, George Lucas, only received the criminal complaint about 15 minutes before the hearing. Because of the rescheduled hearing, Dutschke will be held here at the Lafayette County Detention Center until Thursday at 9 for the rescheduled preliminary hearing. For Newswatch, I'm Sid Williams.